Imagine stepping onto a pristine beach, only to be met with glares and signs telling you to leave. Picture wandering through ancient cobblestone streets, feeling unwelcome in a place you've dreamed of visiting. It may sound surreal, but this is becoming a reality in some of the world's most beloved tourist destinations. In a shocking twist, several countries are now actively trying to reduce the number of visitors flocking to their shores. But why would any nation turn away the economic boost that tourism brings? What could drive them to such extreme measures? In this video, we'll unveil the surprising list of countries taking drastic steps to curb tourism and the eye-opening reasons behind their decisions. Get ready for a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about travel and tourism. We'll explore the hidden dark side of mass tourism, reveal the innovative and sometimes controversial methods these countries are using to deter visitors, and uncover the potential global consequences of this growing anti-tourist movement. By the end of this video, you'll be questioning whether your next dream vacation spot actually wants you there at all. Tourism today is more extensive than ever. In recent times, global travel has surged massively, leading many cities and attractions to become inundated with tourists. Although this can boost the economy, when residents begin to experience difficulties, it's crucial to reassess and introduce strategies to limit visitor numbers. Recently, Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic, unveiled plans to ban late-night pub tours to help discard its reputation as a partying destination. This move followed complaints from residents in Prague 1's historic district, encompassing the UNESCO-registered Old Town Square, Prague Castle, and Charles Bridge, about the disturbance caused by bustling bar tours. From tourist taxes to outright bans and limitations, this showcases how top destinations are tackling excessive tourism. 1. Prague, the Czech Republic's capital, is addressing its residents' concerns about overwhelming tourist numbers by following the lead of other European cities. City authorities have introduced a rule stopping organized late-night pub crawls after receiving complaints from locals. This regulation targets tours by agencies, allowing self-organized groups to plan their own activities. Over the last 20 years, driven primarily by the low-cost airline boom, Prague has become a popular spot for bachelor and bachelorette parties, especially among UK tourists. 2. Bali. In dealing with extreme tourism, Indonesia recently enacted a halt on new hotels, villas, and nightclubs in certain Bali areas. A high-ranking ministry official mentioned this step as part of governmental efforts to reform tourism, enhance quality, create jobs, and conserve Bali's native culture. Currently, over 200,000 foreign nationals live in Bali, contributing to issues such as crime, overdevelopment, and job competition. To combat over-tourism, Bali introduced a tourist tax in 2024. Every visitor must now pay IDR 150,000, roughly $10 upon entry. Plans are also in place to prohibit tourists from renting motorbikes. 3. Amsterdam. In 2023, Amsterdam started a campaign to discourage unruly visitors from coming to the Dutch city. The city also set limits on pub crawls and banned cannabis smoking in the iconic red light district. Tourists should also be ready to pay a tourist tax, which in 2024 is set at 12.5% of a night's stay. 4. Croatia. Dragging wheeled luggage across Dubrovnik's city center is prohibited. To reduce noise on the cobbled streets of the old city, visitors are required to use lockers for their luggage. 5. Japan. Fujikawa Guchiko, a town in Japan set at Mount Fuji's base, is swamped with tourists admiring the scenic beauty and beginning their trek up the mountain. In 2024, an entry fee for the popular Yoshida Trail was announced, starting in July. In May, authorities erected a barrier at a well-known viewpoint, the Lawson Convenience Store, known for its impressive views of Mount Fuji. Residents complained about tourists overcrowding sidewalks, littering, and disregarding traffic rules. 3 months later, the fence was temporarily dismantled due to high winds, leaving police to monitor the area, though it was considered effective in deterring tourists. While many endorsed this measure to reduce over-tourism and protect local wildlife, some critics viewed it as excessive. Japan, known for its welcoming nature, has been wrestling with the high volume of tourists for some time. In March, tourists were prohibited from entering Kyoto's geisha district due to disruptive behavior. Japan's strategy for coping with over-tourism includes bolstering its infrastructure with more taxis and buses, including buses specifically for tourists, and directing tourists away from cities like Tokyo to lesser-known destinations. 6. Machu Picchu, the renowned 5th-century Inca citadel in Peru, caps daily visitors to prevent overcrowding. Entry is limited to 2 daily time slots, and only 10 tourists per guide are allowed. As of 2024, the daily visitor ceiling is 4,500, with allowances up to 5,600 on special days. 7. Rome, Italy, one of Europe's top tourist destinations, has enacted crowd control measures in its major cities, including Rome. A €5, $5.36 fee was introduced in 2023 for visitors to the Pantheon. 8. Venice, though banning large cruise ships from its historic lagoon, Venice remains thronged with tourists. A tourist tax proposed for 2023 will be implemented in 2025. 9. Athens, visitor numbers are regulated at Athens' historic Acropolis, capped at 20,000 daily in pre-designated time slots. In 2024, the new booking system is planned for other attractions nationwide. 10. Barcelona. Barcelona has long battled over-tourism. In 2022, the city limited tour group sizes and imposed noise restrictions. New central hotels and short-term room rentals face restrictions. The city has closed its northern port terminal to cruises and introduced a surcharge, which in 2024 increased to €3.25, $3.48. Recently, they removed bus route 116 from app maps, which tourists commonly use to reach Park Güell, improving residents' lives. 11. Santorini. Santorini, a famous Greek island, receives about 2 million annual visitors. In 2019, measures to manage tourism included restricting cruise passengers to 8,000 per day and a peculiar one barring overweight tourists, over 100 kilograms per 220 pounds, from riding donkeys. 12. France. From the French Riviera to Paris, France stands among the globe's most visited nations. Various measures have controlled tourism over the years, such as limiting Louvre entries to 30,000 daily since 2022. A €1 million promotional campaign launches in 2024 encouraging year-round and less traveled tourism. 13. Portugal. Portugal has introduced several controls on tourism, including taxes. Other regulations include bans on loud beach music, with fines for violators. 14. Cornwall, often overshadowed by London as a UK tourist hotspot, Cornwall also suffers from overcrowding. The Cornwall Council proposed a short-term vacation registration and a tourist tax to address this. 15. Amalfi Coast. Italy's Amalfi Coast, a tourist favorite, implemented an alternating license plate system to manage traffic. Vehicles with plates ending in odd numbers can travel on one day, while even-numbered plates are allowed the next. 16. Santiago de Compostela. This area is a revered tourist and pilgrimage site, visited annually by thousands. local authorities plan to introduce a tourist tax and regulate entry to the historic center. 17. Thailand. To combat over-tourism, Thailand has taken numerous actions, including banning boats in Maya Bay on the Phi Phi Islands. In 2023, Phuket had an overwhelming 118 tourists per local. One goal is to attract diverse visitors such as wealth and wellness aficionados, families with children, active seniors, and remote workers. Yuthicka Supasorn, governor of the Tourism Authority of Thailand, expressed optimism that this will foster high-value, sustainable tourism growth. 18. Bhutan. To limit mass tourism, Bhutan has instituted a sustainable development fee, requiring a $100 daily tourist visa, half the pre-2023 cost, to visit the Himalayan country. 19. Now, let's talk about Barcelona, Spain. This vibrant city has been grappling with over-tourism for years. They've implemented measures like limiting short-term rentals and regulating tour group sizes. Barcelona's mayor even went as far as telling tourists to stay away if they're not prepared to respect the city. 20. Now, let's discuss a whole country taking action, New Zealand. The land of the long white cloud introduced a tourism tax for international visitors. This money goes towards conservation efforts and infrastructure improvements. New Zealand is focusing on attracting high-value tourists who stay longer and spend more. 21. Closer to home for many viewers, we have U.S. national parks like Zion and Yosemite. These natural wonders have been struggling with overcrowding. Park authorities have introduced reservation systems for popular trails and campsites. Some parks are even considering visitor caps during peak seasons. 22. Lastly, let's talk about Iceland, a country that saw a massive tourism boom in the 2010s. The influx of visitors put a strain on Iceland's infrastructure and environment. In response, they've increased prices for tourists and are promoting visits to less-known areas. Iceland is trying to balance tourism income with preserving their unique natural landscapes. So there you have it, folks, a tour of places around the world saying slow down to tourism. It's a complex issue with no easy solutions. These countries are trying to find a balance between welcoming visitors and protecting their homes. What do you think about these measures? Have you experienced over-tourism firsthand? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more travel insights. Until next time, happy and responsible travels.